Welcome to 3D Dinosaur Adventure. Get ready. Put your 3D glasses on.
You can take your 3D glasses off now, but keep them handy. You'll also find 3D images in the 3D Dinosaur Museum, Art-a-Saurus, and the reference section. Welcome to Dinosaur Adventure 3D. If you need more help, click on the question mark.
Are you ready to go on a dinosaur safari? Click on the You're right. You found the velociraptor. This intelligent dinosaur probably hunted in packs. Click on the dinosaur that is thought to be the largest meat-eating animal ever to walk on the You're right. You found the Tyrannosaurus rex. Its enormous jaw was covered with muscles and filled with 6-inch teeth. Scary, isn't it? Click on the plant-eating dinosaur that may have used the crest on its head like a trumpet. You're right. You found the Lambeosaurus. They probably used their head crest to sound an alarm when a Tyrannosaurus rex was nearby. Click on the prehistoric reptile whose body hasn't changed much in 80 million years. You're right. You found the Archelon. It was a marine turtle that looked very much like a sea turtle does today. Click on the dinosaur that may have butted heads with other dinosaurs, just like mountain goats do today. Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Stegosaurus. Its thick, bony head could withstand incredible force. Click on the prehistoric reptile that measured nearly 50 feet in length and which hasn't changed much in 7. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Dinosuchus. This reptile looks just like a modern-day crocodile except that it was nearly 5 times as long. Click on the prehistoric reptile whose wing was made of a thin piece of skin and was attached to its very long 4th finger. Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Pteranodon. It measured 23 feet across but weighed only 37 pounds. Click on the 11-ton dinosaur that used its horns to protect itself from large meat-eating You're right. You found the Triceratops. It lived in large herds all over North America. You're doing great. Click on the meat-eating dinosaur that had a massive skull and a mouthful of razor-sharp teeth. You're right. Allosaurus lived in the Jurassic period and probably hunted large plant eaters like Brachiosaurus. Click on the prehistoric reptile that used its fin to collect heat from the sun. You're right. You found the Dimetrodon. It lived in the Triassic period and was an early ancestor of mammals. Click on the dinosaur that had a mouth like a crocodile's and may have caught fish the same way bears do. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Baryonyx. It was 20 feet long and had giant curved claws. Click on the dinosaur whose mouth was shaped like a duck's bill and lived in herds during the Cretaceous period. Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Art-a-Saurus. This plant-eating dinosaur had as many as 1,000 tiny teeth in its jaw at one time. Click on the duck-billed dinosaur that had hundreds of teeth in its jaw, which were used to chew up leaves and tough plants. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Hadrosaurus. This was the first dinosaur to be discovered in North America. Click on the dinosaur that had a hard, flat head which it used like a battering ram. You're right. You found the Homalocephali. It is related to another head-butting dinosaur known as Stegosaurus. Click on the duck-billed dinosaur which is thought to have taken good care of its babies. Keep looking. You're right. You found the Maiasaura. The name of this dinosaur means good mother. Click on the large dinosaur whose fifth finger was actually a sharp, pointy spike. You're right. You found the Iguanodon. It was one of the first dinosaur fossils to be discovered by man. Congratulations! You got them all right.
Wow.
Can you recognize a dinosaur when you see one? Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm an Allosaurus, and that's my eye. I probably had very good eyesight, so I could spot my prey from great distances.
Which reptile is this a part of? You're right. I'm a Dimetrodon, and that's my sail fin. I probably used it to absorb heat from the sun and warm my body. Remember, I was a cold-blooded reptile. Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Parasaurolophus, and that's my head crest. It measured 6 feet long and was made of a hollow nasal passage. I may have used it to make a loud trumpet-like sound.
Which reptile is this a part of?
Oh, excuse me, you're looking for some other reptile. It's not me.
You're right. I'm a Brachiosaurus, and that's my thigh. It was filled with a column-like bone that helped support my enormous weight.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm an Iguanodon, and that's my tail. When I walked, I held my tail straight out behind me. It was a pretty handy weapon when I was in danger.
You're doing great. Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a euparkeria, and those are my forearms. I was an early ancestor of dinosaurs and ran for short distances on my hind legs.
Which reptile is this a part of? You're right. I am a Dinosuchus, and that's my skin. It was very bumpy like a crocodile skin is today. Hey, I'm related to crocodiles. No wonder. Which reptile is this a part?
You're right. I'm a Dilophosaurus, and that's my head crest. I probably used it to let other dinosaurs like me know whether I was male or female. In this case, I'm female, of course.
Are you ready for level 2? Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Stegosaurus, and those are my plates. I probably use them to absorb heat from the sun and warm up my body.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Protoceratops, and that's my frill. It protected my body from attacks by larger dinosaurs.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Struthiomimus, and that's my hand. I used it to grab the small animals that I ate.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Triceratops, and that's my mouth. This hard, bony beak was perfect for breaking up pieces of tough plants.
Which reptile is this?
You're right. I'm an Ankylosaurus, and that's my armored skin covering. It was so thick that most dinosaurs couldn't bite through it. Some people think I look like a tank. I think they're right.
You're doing great.
Which reptile is this a part of?
You're right. I'm a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and those are my teeth. They measured 6 inches in length and were perfect for cutting into the flesh of other dinosaurs.
Which reptile is this a part of?
Oh, you're right! I'm a Plesiosaurus, and that's my flipper. To move through the water, I moved it up and down like a bird's wing.
Which reptile is...
You're right. I'm a Styracosaurus, and that's my neck frill. These horns were perfect for scaring large predators like Albertosaurus. Yeah.
Congratulations, you got them all right.
Wow! You're incredible! You're amazing! You're unbelievable! Really? Well, really?
Do you really know your dinosaur names?
Can you find the Brachiosaurus? Can you keep looking? Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. This is a Brachiosaurus. Can you find the Maiasaura? Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. This is a Maiasaura. Can you find the Triceratops? Keep looking. You're right. This is a Triceratops. Can you find the Apatosaurus? Keep looking. You're right. This is an Apatosaurus. Can you find the Pteranodon? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right.
This is a pteranodon. You're doing great. Can you find the stegosaurus? Keep looking. You're right. This is a stegosaurus. Can you find the You're right. This is a Tyrannosaurus rex. Can you find the Allosaurus? Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. This is an Allosaurus. Can you find the Albertosaurus? Keep look. You're right. This is an Albertosaurus. Are you ready for level 2? These are a little harder. Can you find the Plesiosaurus? You're right. This is a Plesiosaurus. Can you find the Velociraptor? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. You're right. This is a Velociraptor. Can you find the Quetzalcoatlus? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep look. You're right. This is a Quetzalcoatlus. Can you find the Diplodocus? Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep look. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep looking. Keep look. You're right. This is a Diplodocus. Can you find the Styracosaurus? Keep looking. You're right. This is a Styracosaurus.
You really know your dinosaur names.
Can you find the Parasaurolophus? You're right. This is a Parasaurolophus. Can you find the Dimetrodon? You're right. This is a Dimetrodon. Can you find the Ankylosaurus? Keep looking. Keep look. Can you find the Stegosaurus? You're right. This is a Stegosaurus. Congratulations. You got them all right.
Oh, wait till I get a hold of you.
What's the matter with you?
We already agreed I get to do the
Well, I
congratulations.
changed my mind.
Wait till I get my forearms around you.
Oh, yeah, good luck with those puny little things.
Okay. You can do the congratulations.
I do. Now go back to the Cretaceous period where you came from.
Ooh, ow. Oh, hey, watch it. Those horns are sharp.
Get out of my way, then.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's do it together, okay?
Oh, all right.
Congratulations!
Congratulations!
3D Dinosaur Museum.
Welcome to the 3D Dinosaur Museum. Put your 3D glasses on.
How well do you know your dinosaur facts?
Hips make the dinosaur. One of the main ways of classifying dinosaurs is by their hip type, either Saurischean, meaning reptile-hipped, or Ornithischian, meaning bird-hipped. All dinosaurs can be divided into one of these two groups. Dinosaur hips were made up of 3 bones that could be found on each side of the pelvis: the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. In reptile-hipped dinosaurs, the ischium pointed backwards and the pubis pointed forwards. With these dinosaurs, the joints and connections between the hip and leg bones were very simple, which made it possible for the dinosaur to carry its legs directly beneath its body. In this fashion, the legs acted like the pillars of a building, capable of holding up a substantial amount of weight. Among the reptile-hipped dinosaurs, there were meat-eaters, such as Tyrannosaurus, and plant-eaters, such as Diplodocus. Bird-hipped dinosaurs, on the other hand, were all plant-eaters. Their hips were different from reptile-hipped dinosaurs because their pubis pointed backwards along with the ischium. Bird-hipped dinosaurs included some of the more distinctive-looking dinosaurs, such as the heavily armored Ankylosaurus, Stegosaurus, and the crested Corythosaurus. Celophysis, the cannibal. This small, compact dinosaur was built for speed and agility. While Celophysis stood only about 7 feet tall, its powerful rear legs and long, slender body made it a fast and deadly predator. It had a long, narrow head and a mouth filled with numerous razor-edged teeth. Unlike other dinosaurs, the leg bones of Celophysis were nearly hollow, which helped reduce its total body weight and increase its speed. In 1947, dozens of Celophysis skeletons were found in a mass grave in New Mexico, which has led many scientists to believe that these dinosaurs hunted in large packs. Strangely, at the same location, some adult Celophysises contained the skeletons of their young. At first, this was thought to be proof that they may have given birth to live young, rather than laying eggs like other dinosaurs. But now it is believed that Celophysis was probably a cannibal that occasionally ate its own offspring. Life. How did it happen? Here you can see an outline of the history of the universe. In the sky are galaxies and the comets, planets, and moons that formed in the solar system, plus, of course, the sun, on which all life depends. In the ocean at the far left are the molecules that make up life. As you look to the right, you can see the bacteria that were the first cells of life, followed by more complex sea life, and finally, land life. This is the story science tells us. But how did it happen? Many scientists believe that by chance, molecules combined into simple life forms, and experiments have shown that with the right atmosphere, lightning and solar radiation could create simple amino acids that are the building blocks of life. Then these amino acids could combine into simple life forms, and these in turn could change into increasingly complex life forms by the process of evolution outlined by naturalist Charles Darwin. Some scientists, however, don't believe this. They think that early life may have come from outer space. Why? Because, in the words of scientists Francis Graham Smith and Bernard Lovell, The possibility of molecules randomly combining into life within no more than a billion years is vanishingly small. Therefore, some scientists, such as geneticist Francis Crick, have concluded that early life must have come from outer space. Earth, the once poisonous planet. For nearly 1.5 billion years after the formation of the Earth, the planet was a seething, poisonous place, filled with volcanoes and covered by dark clouds of water vapor and poisonous gas. There was no life anywhere on the planet, and the air, water, and land as we know them today did not exist. It took hundreds of millions of years just for the Earth's molten surface to finally cool and harden. As it did, poisonous gases and water vapor were expelled from the Earth's core, creating the first primitive atmosphere. No living thing could have breathed in that atmosphere, since there was no oxygen and most of the gases in it were deadly. All around the planet there were erupting volcanoes and lakes of lava. Over time, the Earth's surface cooled enough so the water vapor in the atmosphere began to condense and turn into rain. Then for millions of years, it rained nearly continuously, filling up the depressions in the Earth's surfaces with what are now our seas and oceans. Eventually, the rain stopped, and the clouds covering the Earth thinned. For the first time in many millions of years, the sun shone through to the Earth's surface. At around the same time, much of the poisonous gas in the atmosphere escaped into space, setting the stage for the development of the first life forms. A molecule is born. All life forms are made mostly of a few common atoms, such as hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and carbon. These atoms stick together in groups called molecules. Atoms are like the letters of the alphabet. Molecules are like words formed from those letters. A few letters can make an endless variety of words. Many scientists think that after the Earth formed, the atmosphere consisted mainly of hydrogen, ammonia, and methane. These, dissolved in the ocean, were the basic ingredients of life. The chemicals mixed in the water, forming a soup of more complicated molecules. Sunlight provided the energy to cook the soup. Lightning accelerated the process, helping more complex chains of carbon atoms to form. By recreating what they believe the surface of the early Earth must have been like, scientists have created some of the organic compounds from which life is built, but they are still far from creating life. For life to exist, carbon is very special. Most atoms can only stick to themselves in small clusters, but carbon is unusual in that its atoms can stick to each other in endless chains like sticky marbles. Perhaps when conditions were perfect, some complicated molecules formed in the early seas, then broke into two identical halves. Then when the right molecules, food, stuck on them, they might have formed identical copies of themselves. This would have been the first self-reproducing molecule, meaning that it made identical copies of itself, like a tiny photocopy machine. Each of these copies could then split in two and form more and more copies, multiplying throughout the oceans like rabbits. Perhaps this was how life began. The mystery of life. The first thing to remember about simple life forms is that there is nothing simple about them. The most basic cell has been compared to a factory carrying out as many functions as every type of factory on Earth put together. Therefore, it is still something of a mystery how living things were first formed. But many scientists believe that in Earth's early ages, rain carried chemicals from the air and ground into the oceans, making a salty soup out of which life evolved. Though the molecules that make up living things are much more complicated than those found in the primitive oceans, experiments have shown that when acted upon by certain sources of energy, chemicals found on the young Earth could have produced the amino acids and nucleotide bases which are to life as bricks, for example, are to buildings. Other theories suggest that these building blocks could have hooked together into more complicated proteins and nucleic acids to form protocells, precursors to true living cells. Some scientists theorize that after eons of reacting with each other and with other chemicals, protocells somehow developed skins that could absorb chemicals and grow larger without bursting. Gradually, over many generations, surviving protocells became more complex, until some of them were able to grow and then split into two identical copies of the original cell, at which point they would be alive. But other scientists, such as Nobel Prize-winning biochemist Francis Crick, consider this chain of events so vastly improbable that they speculate early life forms may have drifted in from outer space. Scientists are still searching for definite answers to the complex mystery of life. Earth comes alive. Close to 2.5 billion years ago, the Earth's surface and atmosphere were stable enough to support the first forms of primitive life. In the giant seas that covered the planet, single-cell organisms began to make their appearance. Most of them were very simple single-cell bacteria that fed on chemicals in the ocean's waters. Over time, a simple organism known as blue-green algae appeared and spread across the seas. Blue-green algae, still alive today, were important to the future of the planet because they used sunlight and water to make food, and in the process created oxygen. As the blue-green algae thrived in the Earth's seas, they began to fill the atmosphere with oxygen. Soon the algae became so numerous that they formed huge reefs called stromatolites. Monkeys and typewriters. Darwin's theory of evolution has a simplicity that is appealing. One of his contemporaries summarized it in a single phrase. Evolution, he said, is the survival of the fittest. The theory is widely accepted by scientists today. However, some people object to evolution on religious grounds and some on scientific grounds. Though it is the minority view in scientific circles, critics of evolution raise some interesting points. Here are a few. It is difficult, some believe to the point of impossibility, for life to arise from non-life, even if all necessary ingredients were mixed in abundance. Though some doubt he meant it, Darwin apparently did not believe life developed from non-life. He attributed the first living thing to a creator. Nevertheless, life developing from non-life has become part of evolutionary theory. English scientist Thomas Huxley suggested time and chance caused the first life. He reportedly said 6 monkeys typing mindlessly for millions of years could write all the books in the British Museum. By the same random method, he said, simple life could be created. But in his recent book, The Philosophical Scientists, British scientist David Foster says this is unlikely. Allowing Huxley all the monkeys there have ever been, typing for all the time there has ever been, there would be a shortfall ratio of more than 100 million millions, and that only relates to the chance of typing one line of one book in the British Museum. That evolution causes minor changes is virtually beyond dispute, but some scientists, including Darwin's contemporary, French anatomist Georges Cuvier, don't believe it can cause major changes. This is because living beings are complex mechanisms, and a change to one part of the mechanism affects other parts. Compare life to an automobile. You can change the paint or flare the fenders somewhat without problem. But for example, if you change the size of a piston even a bit, other parts of the engine must be changed to accommodate it. That such coordinated changes should take place by chance, at the same time, in the same living being, strikes some as extremely unlikely. Darwin said, occasional small changes make some animals better able to survive. Conversely, detrimental changes make them less likely to survive. But some anatomical changes would appear detrimental unless in fully functioning form. Consider the bat, whose wing bones are essentially its fingers. If bats evolved from non-flying creatures, wouldn't the increasing length of these animals' fingers make them very clumsy and likely to be somebody's lunch long before the fingers became wings? The fossil record doesn't show gradual changes. Darwin said big biological changes result from eons of little changes. Some in his day, such as anatomist Sir Richard Owen, who coined the word dinosaur, said the fossils didn't show little changes adding up to big changes. Many believed more study would close these gaps, but it hasn't. Some scientists have proposed a theory called punctuated evolution, in which species remain stable for ages, then isolated groups rapidly change from environmental pressure. Rapid change means there would be few intermediate species, which would explain the gaps in the fossil record. However, it also requires squeezing a vast number of changes into a relatively short time, which strikes some, including traditional Darwinists, as unlikely. Studies show that life forms that look similar are often genetically similar. Apes and humans, for example. However, critics say genetic material does not show the progression that evolution demands. For example, most scientists believe jawless fish evolved into bony fish, which evolved into amphibians, then to reptiles, and finally to mammals. This means genetic material should become increasingly different.
Hey, let's go see a dinosaur movie.
Two hadrosaurs prepare a nest.